A 33-year-old single woman who had participated in 60 dating shows unexpectedly found herself repeatedly rejected despite her unique charm. Yin Yang Zhou is a wrestler who has won the Jiangsu Provincial Championship for 2 consecutive years. She is strong enough to easily take down even the male guests who come on stage. However, despite her positive energy and proactive confessions, she couldn't find a boyfriend. She thought to herself that, being such an excellent woman, she couldn't understand why she couldn't light up a man as excellent as her. It was only during her 60-second appearance on the dating show that her wish was finally fulfilled when a male guest made her feel attracted to him. She believed that moment was what she had been waiting for, as if she were finally about to take someone home. Yuyan thought she had found true love, but it turned out to be a complete sham. To prevent Yuyan from becoming a regular presence on the dating shows, the show's production intervened and made her leave the stage. Back in her hometown, Yuyan returned to a dull and ordinary life, working every day by carrying goods. The exciting date that happened on the dating show did not turn into a real-life relationship. This time, Yuyan, hurt and sad, saw her weight increase drastically. She spent days and nights reminiscing about the happy moments when she had been holding hands with someone. But Yuyan was also very aware that the problem was on the other side, as the man she met on the show only wanted to take me to the stage, not really date and marry me, as she reflected, feeling frustrated with the situation. In reality, Yuyan had always put in a lot of effort. To find her Prince Charming, Yuyan exercised every day. She believed that as long as she kept getting better, it wouldn't be hard to find a rich, handsome, and successful man, since she had no shortage of suitors. For example, her fitness trainer was her ex-boyfriend and former wrestling teammate. Now, her friends were getting married and having children, while Yuyan thought that her weight was not the biggest issue. She thought to herself, there are people who are fatter than I am, and even those who are a little thinner are losing weight. But it was precisely for this reason that Yuyan didn't want to lose weight, as she believed that the partner she would find after losing weight wouldn't be her true love. The man who loved her when she was fat would be her true love. And in fact, Yuyan's requirements weren't that high, over 1.80 meters tall, with a house and a car, preferably a soldier, and most importantly, he couldn't be too fat, as fat people don't like other fat people. With these seemingly simple requirements, Yuyan started a new round of dating. But unexpectedly, as soon as she met someone, Yuyan started making demands. She explained that due to her previous experience, she wasn't very good at dating, so maybe he needed to be a bit more attentive, and if she lost her patience, he'd have to take on the role of an older brother. Although the other person wasn't military, at least his attitude was fair. However, for Yuyan, the other person's performance and appearance didn't satisfy her much. Throughout the date, he was drinking water and shaking his leg. Yuyan considered this behavior very disrespectful, and she also didn't like men who wore earrings. With no other option, the date had to end abruptly. After returning home, her parents prepared her favorite dish, braised pork, and asked about the date. Despite the date not going well, her parents believed that a poor husband didn't matter, but his character and qualities did. However, Yuyan wasn't satisfied with a poor husband's job. She firmly responded, yes, as long as the person is good. She also confidently said, it doesn't matter who's talking. My friends will introduce me to a soldier soon for a date. Yuyan believed that being rich and handsome was also an important standard for a man, and for her, she also had certain requirements for the man's parents. She decisively asked, I have one request. The man's parents can't think I'm fat. In the end, Yuyan continues to drift further away in her endless journey of dating, and this is the common situation for older single women today. With the continuous rise of women, a man from an ordinary family with a decent job is called poor, while a woman from an ordinary family with a decent job is called a little fairy. Over time, many women started developing perceptions that didn't match their identities, leading them to make decisions that went beyond the norm. For example, a woman who earns a monthly salary of $3,000 demands that her partner earns $30,000, or a woman who is 160 meters and weighs 90 kilograms demands that the other person be 1.80 meters tall and weigh no more than 80 kilograms. And the result of this is that those who please them do not choose them, and those who match them they don't like. But what is your opinion about these little princesses in their later years?
I'm 36 years old, and in just a few months, I'll be 37. For the past 2 years, I've been on countless blind dates. I've tried every avenue, online platforms, marriage agencies, even introductions through friends and family. We're talking about at least 50 to 60 setups. But guess what? Not a single one worked out. And it's not because I'm picky, it's because no one is interested in me. Out of these 50 or 60 people, about 20 or 30 were men I could have considered. In fact, I had the option to choose, but none of them were willing to choose me. The reality is harsh, no one wants me. And it's not like I'm asking for the moon. There are men with worse conditions than mine, men with 2 kids, men with a past they can't move on from. So, I have to wonder, what is it with men today? Especially the divorced ones or those still single, why don't they want to get married? They talk about wanting a woman with good qualities, but when it comes to choosing someone, they demand perfection. What are they even looking for? They say they want someone who doesn't need financial support, someone who is independent. But let's be real here. If a woman is so perfect, why is she still single? It makes me question the standards we have today. If these men are so demanding and picky, then why are they still single? What are they offering? It's easy to point the finger at others, but are they looking in the mirror? It's frustrating, honestly. And the worst part is, these men expect high standards from me. They say I should want someone who matches my level. But when they don't even meet my expectations, why am I the one to settle? The truth is, I've had enough of this society that expects perfection from women but doesn't hold the same standards for men. It's not just frustrating, it's disheartening. We're constantly told to be independent, to be successful, but when we do, we end up alone, because we're too much for the men who think they deserve us. The double standard is unbearable.
A young man and woman went on a blind date. The man asked the woman a few questions and suddenly got up to leave, leaving her completely confused. What happened? As soon as they sat down, the man started asking about the woman's salary, family background, and living situation. When he learned that she earned just over 5,000 yuan a month, rented her apartment, and came from a working-class family, he immediately wanted to leave. The woman, clearly displeased, asked, "What's wrong with you? Right off the bat, you're asking about my family and income. Did you come here for a date or to find a rich woman?" The man replied, "Don't get me wrong. I just think we might not be compatible. When I walked in, I noticed the bag you're carrying. It's a designer bag, probably worth 20,000 or 30,000 yuan, right? But your monthly salary is just over 5,000. Even if I assume your rent is only 1,000, food costs 1,500, and utilities, phone, transportation, and other expenses are 500. You still have to buy cosmetics and clothes, and the clothes you're wearing don't look cheap. That means you can only save, at most, 1,000 yuan a month. And I think I'm being generous with this calculation. If, under these circumstances, you can still buy a bag worth thousands, there are only 3 explanations. First, maybe some man gave you this bag. And why would he give you such an expensive gift? We're all adults here. We know what that implies. Second, you bought it on a credit card and are paying in installments. If I were to be with you, would I have to help you pay those installments? Third, if the bag is fake, then why buy something just to show off? Isn't that too vain? The woman, frustrated, replied, "Can't I save up for 1 or 2 years and buy a bag I like with my own money?" The man said, "If you have to tighten your belt, live so frugally for 1 or 2 years just to buy a flashy and impractical bag, that only proves that our spending habits are not compatible." With that, he turned around and left, leaving the woman so upset she nearly cried on the spot. So, what do you think? Was the man right?
Beautiful, I heard you've been on more than 100 arranged dates and haven't had success. What's the reason for that? They don't have money, it's not my fault. Isn't it your fault? What are your requirements then? What requirements can I have? They're simple. The dowry is 880,000, having a house and car is good, it's very simple, just that. Ah, I see. Any other requirements? Other requirements, And then, transfer the car and house to my name. The car can't be under 200,000, anything below 200,000 is too cheap. And what about appearance? The appearance has to be beautiful, tall, and handsome. Oh, and I have a younger brother. I expect him to buy a house for my brother. But doesn't your family have a house? My family has a house, but it's my family's, not mine. If your parents have a house, they can buy one for your brother. My parents are older now, they want me to buy a house for my brother. So, I expect my boyfriend to buy a house for me, and then I'll give it to my brother. There's nothing wrong with that. Your requirements seem very high. What's the problem? Nowadays, everyone has a house and car, but here it's different. What do you mean it's different? The tradition here is that the bride brings a dowry. In some families, the bride even pays the dowry. Oh, we also pay a dowry here. No, it's not that we don't pay, but you want so much dowry, how is anyone going to get that much money? What's the problem with that? People are now asking for up to 2 million. Isn't that normal? Every place has its own particularities. That amount is too high. People earn only a few thousand a month, and you're talking about 2 million. And you still think my requirements are high? You're being very proud. Proud? I'm like this because I'm very beautiful. If you're ugly, you won't want someone like me, right? Even if you have money, a house, if you're not handsome, no one will want you. Ugly, but wants to be beautiful, have money and a house, where does that exist? Where doesn't it exist? Now it's everywhere in the market. Yeah. And how are these arranged dates? They're people without money, ugly. I've been on more than 100 arranged dates, and it didn't work out. You don't have anyone compatible. Actually, I had someone, but he didn't want to give me the house, so I didn't continue with him. Of course not, who will want to give multiple houses? Only a couple, right? If he transferred it to my name, it would have been fine. But marriage is a shared asset, and he didn't want that. Does your family have a car? My family has a car, has savings. My family has, I don't. If your family has, it's fine because what's important is that the man has it. He must be the main one. The man has to give me a home, a warm home, and money to spend. Look, the guys I've introduced to you are even good, you need to be more flexible. What did you think of them? They say you're too proud, that your requirements are too high. My requirements are not high. I can lower it to 680,000. How about that? I'll talk to them and let you know. I'm not going to any more arranged dates. I'm too beautiful to be with someone ugly. If you have money, I might accept it, but if not, it's not worth it. Look, you're already a certain age and still haven't found someone good. That's a problem. I'm 30, I'm great, doesn't look like I'm 30, right? Of course, you don't look like it. But you will have to get married one day, won't you? You'll get married one day. That's for later, I'll wait to find the right one, who's good for me, has money, and is handsome. I'm still going to get married. Now you, with this single attitude, will end up alone, no one will want you. Ah, old maid. Doesn't seem like it, nowadays there are a lot of 30-year-olds still single on the streets. So how long are you going to wait? Until which year? Ah, women's age doesn't matter, what's important is to be beautiful, right? Ah, I won't talk to you anymore, go ahead and talk to them.
Hello, everyone. Today I'm resting at home. Yesterday I watched another amazing show. My roommate went out for another blind date, and once again, it was a failure. Applause for her. It's always the same thing, she goes, and then nothing happens afterward. Well, today I want to discuss with you how we, the older, quality women, except me, of course, can find a partner who suits us. Because I don't agree with the term older women. Why don't I agree? I'm 28, and that's not old, right? No, honestly, in the marriage market, we have to admit that we're already in the older age group. We're competing with those girls in their early 20s who have just graduated from college. So, even though we might think we're still young, we are competing with these girls. You see? They're being introduced to men in their 30s, while we, at 30, look like older men. They're idiots with no vision. I think the most important thing is to understand what qualities you really want in a partner. In my case, for example, I like intelligent people, those who stand out, like top students. I feel that I need someone who is so intelligent that when we talk, they understand everything quickly, think ahead of time, and not be the type who only realizes things after they happen and regrets it. I really enjoy interacting and conversing with smart people. And speaking of my roommate, she and I were college classmates for 11 years. We weren't in the same class, but we spent a lot of time together. I always feel really good around her because she is incredibly smart. Sometimes I think, if I can be friends with such an intelligent and good person, That must mean I'm also a really good and capable person, right? So, the first step is to understand what qualities you want in a partner. My roommate, for example, wants someone who is optimistic, outgoing, and has a good sense of humor. She thinks living with a person like that is a good requirement. It's not too much, really. But I don't know why, she still hasn't found that person. And honestly, this has to do with emotional intelligence. The requirement for emotional intelligence is really, really high. I think emotional intelligence requirements are even harder to meet than my own high intellectual demands. Now, men also need to improve their emotional intelligence, and another thing, they must also continuously focus on self-improvement. We can't just say, oh, I went to a good school or got a good job, and now I'll just coast along. We need to keep improving and looking forward. As doctors, for example, we have to take our work seriously. We can't create problems for ourselves. We need to keep learning, reinforce basic knowledge, do research, invest in personal growth, and take refresher courses. It's all about constant effort to become better people. And that also gives us more space to find a compatible partner in the future, right? Anyway, I hope my roommate can experience the feeling of first love in the next year. Goodbye, everyone.
When we talk about arranged or blind dates, it almost feels like we're about to step into one of those romantic movies, right? Full of cliches, expectations, and of course, that hope that in the end, everything will work out. But reality, as always, has a way of surprising us. These women, often with their endless lists of demands, which, let's be honest, look more like an instruction manual than a search for someone to build a life with, end up creating a fortress of expectations that, instead of attracting love, end up pushing it away. How can we expect someone to meet such high standards when we're not perfect ourselves? And are these demands really necessary to find a good partner? What happens is that the search for the perfect prince becomes a true treasure hunt. And among all the maps and clues these women try to follow, they end up forgetting something simple: the beauty of a genuine connection. Let's face it, if you're looking for something or someone perfect, you're bound to get lost along the way. And seriously, do the demands for a brand new car, a good salary, and of course, the flawless looks of a magazine cover model really determine whether a relationship will last? Deep down, aren't we all just looking for someone with whom we can feel at ease, with whom we can be ourselves, without the pressure of meeting a perfection checklist? It seems like we're living in a world where the more we demand, the further we get from something real. This insane search for perfection in every little detail ends up making us forget the most important thing: being with someone who, no matter how imperfect they are, accepts our flaws and shares the simple things in life. The irony in all of this is that the more we seek perfection, the harder it becomes to find what truly matters. Because, in the end, what we're looking for isn't a package of qualities, but someone who wants to walk alongside us, imperfections and all. So, for those still playing the blind date game, here's my advice: rethink your demands. Maybe it's time to look around and realize that, more often than not, what we really need is someone with whom we can simply be ourselves. No masks, no unattainable expectations, just an open heart for what might be real. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever caught yourself making a list of demands in the search for love? Or, on the contrary, have you been able to look beyond the standards and give a chance to something simpler and more genuine? Leave your comments here and let's discuss together what really matters when it comes to finding someone special. What's your opinion on this dilemma? Leave it in the comments, and if you like the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, and I'll see you in the next one.